Good evening. It's Tuesday, September 5th. It's a special select board meeting because we're holding it on a different day. I'd like to welcome everyone. We have Ann Golob online in Zoom, Jeff Chevalier, and myself, Angela Sanborn, at the table. Juanetta, has the meeting been properly warned?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any additions or amendments to the agenda?
One addition to discuss the emergency watershed information.
Under old business?
Sure.
Anything else? Hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes for August 21st regular meeting.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Ann. Is there a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And ayes have it.
Can I interrupt for a second? Just ask where Katie and Mike are?
Katie is on vacation, and Mike might appear by phone at some point, but he has a personal issue.
Okay.
Let's move on to the approval of the August 21st public hearing minutes. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Oh, any discussion?
No.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Ayes have it. And then August 29th meeting minutes. Is there a motion? The three of us were here for that. That's awesome.
I will make a motion.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Ann. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. And good evening, Jay. We are ready for the road foreman and commissioners report.
Okay. I spent the afternoon today touring 4 bridges and 3 culverts with representatives from FEMA. It was interesting, but they're just there to collect data, so it was nothing too exciting. We marked the rest of the Grimes Hill road pavement repair with DMI. It's about 2,600 square feet to patch, and they patched, I think, already done about 2,000 feet. It is helping quite a bit, and we kind of did it a little more detailed this time, so we make sure we got everything. The drain on Dover Road at the bottom of Timpson Hill was repaired Friday. The only thing left to do is the pavement, and the plant closed early Friday because of the holiday. The poor guys stood there for 2 hours waiting for pavement to show up, and they got to the plant and found they'd quit at noon.
Oh, no.
Well, that didn't get fixed, but at least it's more level.
Well, that's good.
The work on South Wardsboro Road pavement should begin the last week of September. I think it's Monday or Tuesday of that week. We need a few culverts replaced on the pavement, and if I can get a couple people to bid on it, can we do a quick Zoom meeting to award the bid?
Sure.
I'll start calling a few guys. I just don't think we have time to do it, so I'll call a few guys tomorrow, see if anybody would be interested, and I'll put out the bid and see if we can get some prices.
Yeah, just let me know. We can schedule it.
Okay. And the Veggie Van Gogh truck will have a date change for November and December because of the holidays, and it'll be November 30th and December 22nd.
I'm sorry, what is that?
The Veggie Van Gogh truck that parks on Church Street. And they come usually the 3rd or 4th Thursday of each month. But because of the way the holidays fall, they had to move it a couple days one way or the other.
Got it.
Can you say what time they come for people who are listening?
It's at noon.
Great.
I think it's about an hour. It's quite I'm still shocked at how well it works. There's a huge line of cars, and they just put them through and hand stuff out, and the traffic keeps moving, and they've done fairly well. There's been a couple of hiccups, but they've done fairly well in making it work.
Good.
Great.
All right. Is there a motion
I-
to? Oh,
I
go
have
ahead.
I have nothing on the gravel pit. I've been so busy with some of this other FEMA stuff. I haven't done anything more on it lately, so I'll have to get him going again.
Maybe an update on at the next meeting.
Yep.
Anything further?
I apologize. I had said that we could discuss the emergency watershed grant during old business, but it would be so much nicer to discuss it with Jay. Would that be
Do it
all right
now.
to move it now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Is there anyone in the audience here?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So
Just
Jay
6 of us.
and the rest of the select board, I sent around an email that we got back from Michelle LaPont about the grant, and we have submitted an application to the NRDC, I believe is correct initials. And he then went and answered a number of questions for us that I thought were useful. So I thought I would do just quickly review what he said for anyone who might be listening. And then I had a question or two for Jay. One, he clarified that it's not a requirement that if a project is assessed and reviewed about what the cost would be, no one is obligated to actually do the work. So to pay for the work. So if the prices come out too high and people don't want to move forward, that is fine. They do not need to. We also clarified, we talked about some of the different projects, both Nancy Reese's project, and he clarified under what circumstances they might do something, but a whole slew of circumstances in which it would not fit the emergency watershed protection program. But then what I really wanted to discuss in more detail was the Rock River situation, where he said that in order to be eligible, if the bridges that are threatened, let's see, if the threatened bridges are on Dover Road, they would not be eligible for EWP assistance. And it's because it's a federal aid road, and it would have to be covered by the FHWA, all these acronyms, which is administered through VTrans.
Right.
So I'm sure when they come, they could look and see what, if anything, might be possible. But it seems like regarding the question that the owners brought to us at the last meeting, that it would be valuable to try to see if this is something VTrans would look at for us. And I wondered what you thought, Jay, about that.
So the covered bridge would fall under federal highways. The Green Iron Bridge would be not, because goes off of Dover Road, but it's not on Dover Road.
Okay.
So federal highways still not come yet. They're going to kind of look at the roadsides down through where some of the riprap got loosened. And I don't have a feel for whether they're going to try to help us to beef it up a little bit so it doesn't fail worse the next time. I have no idea what to expect out of them.
Okay.
But we do have a liaison for VTrans that's going to work between Federal Highway and us. And hopefully she'll keep us posted when they're going to be here, because I would like to go out and make sure they see everything. And then the covered bridge, I'd have to see, it has to be, the damage almost has to be within the right of way of the town kind of thing for them to want to fix it. So it has to be very close to the bridge. And I don't know if that damage is a little upstream from that, or if it's close enough that would qualify, but we can look at that when they come around.
I know some of the damage is on the house that's right next door,
Right.
house, but I believe the area that they think needs to be repaired is further up. We think at John Spicer's house. I'm not sure how they evaluate the damage versus
Right.
repair based on what's
I think that's where they wanted to restructure the river, is by John Spicer's.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay, so you don't have any idea when these various folks are going to be coming. They haven't told you, I
Not
presume.
yet. Nope.
Do they give you any warning when they are coming?
I hope so. Yes. I would assume we'd have at least a couple of days notice.
Is it appropriate? Obviously, we want you there. Is it appropriate to try to have the homeowners there as well so they can hear some of this information firsthand?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't see any reason. They may not want to interact with them too much, but they could listen, I'm sure.
And maybe also
That would be
point out,
important.
yeah, point out things that they would want to point out. So then, based on that, if others agree, I would ask Winetta if you could do two things. If you could reach out to the homeowners along Rock River, who I believe you have all their emails. Is that correct, Winetta?
Yes.
Okay. Could you reach out to them and share the email exchange that I had with Michelle Lapointe?
Michael Lapointe.
Michael Lapointe.
What?
His name is Michael Lapointe.
Is it Michael? Because it's Michel.
Michael.
It's, if you look at the end.
Whatever. His email is EL.
Whatever it is.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's Michael Lapointe.
Okay. So if we ask, if you could share that email with all of them, and if you could let them know that Jay is expecting a visit from the VTrans folks, as well as, tell me if I'm saying this correctly, Jay, the liaison with the Federal Highways person.
It'll be somebody from Federal Highway, and I assume the woman I'm dealing with, I can't recall her name right now. I believe she'll be here also, I hope.
From VTrans.
Yeah.
Liaison person. That we're expecting a visit, and that when we're told that they're coming and we may not have much notice, that Jay will let you, Winetta, know, and that if you could then reach out and let the homeowners know. And then the last suggestion I would have is to also let them know that Green Iron Bridge would not fit under the same categories of the federal highway, because that is on a side road. So that is something we would want to discuss, tell me if I'm correct, Jay, with the folks from the NRCS.
Right.
Yes.
That all makes sense, Winetta? You got all that?
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Now, did they indicate when those folks would, if they accepted it or if they decided to come out and look, when that would be?
No, but you sent it last week, Winetta, the letter to them?
Wednesday.
Okay.
So no response.
Yeah.
No.
And when we get that back, we need to make sure we notify the Rock River folks and the Smithbrook folks and Nancy Reese when we get
Correct.
that.
Correct. Correct. Okay.
Perfect. All right, anything else on the watershed? If there's time enough, I'd like to know when that would be for the Rock River, because I would like to attend.
Winetta, why don't you send an email out to the whole select board in case any of us are available, as well as those homeowners.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else for the road foreman and commissioners report, is there a motion to approve?
I make such a motion.
Thank you, Ian. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff, we're working in tandem tonight.
That's right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's approved. Thank you so much, Jane. Please let your crew know that we appreciate you and all of the work that you all do and what they do.
All
You're
right.
amazing.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Jay.
You too. And moving on, it's time for the administrative assistance report. Good evening, Juanetta.
Good evening. I would like to publicly thank Walter Hagendorn for his work in the gardens here at the town office on Friday. He did an incredible job to enhance the beauty of our town. Home security system completed the camera upgrade on Thursday morning. What a remarkable difference.
As far as sound or just the vision?
Clarity, everything. It's amazing, and it's so user-friendly.
Good.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Budget season will start soon. I wonder if you would like everyone asking for social appropriations to set up an appointment to join a select board meeting, or only if they are requesting a different amount. The proposed bylaw floodplain and river corridor vote will be on September 18th agenda. Does the select board expect to have any changes to make, or will you proceed as they are written? If there's changes to be made, it mandates a new hearing. So that changes the timeline. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the administrative assistance report?
Make a motion.
Motion.
Jeff made the motion. Would you like the second?
I will.
Thank you so much. Okay, discussion. Yes, thank you to Walter Hagedorn for his hard work. It looks beautiful.
It does, looks great.
And that's good about the home security system. Budget season. When are we going to start budget season?
Not soon enough.
Are we starting November or? Well, we have a regular meeting. It usually starts in November, correct, or October?
Usually the end of October.
End of October.
We could start the 30th and go right on through.
Sure.
So every Monday, starting on the 30th?
Yep, except for our regular meetings. I think asking everyone who's asking for special appropriations should come in and represent, because everything changes every year.
Yeah.
You know, the services that are provided, how many folks they provide services for, it all changes. So I think it's helpful to hear from everybody, and we have some new people who have started in positions that we haven't met yet for certain groups.
Okay.
I would also request that the form that we ask them to fill out, that we make sure we have that prior to them coming to the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And
that
make
if
sure
they haven't
it's
submitted
required.
Yeah, if they haven't submitted it, then the presentation is canceled.
I agree with that.
And I would also suggest that 2-page summary is what we plan to put into the book.
Because that explains more about their services for the town of Newfane, so that is more appropriate than all of their flyer information. So.
Yeah.
Right. And also will help us save on pages.
Yeah, that too. So that should be a required form. If it's not here when their meeting time is supposed to be, we will reschedule until we have such a form. How many do you want to do per night? And sometimes we've had 3, sometimes we've had 5. Should we plan on like 4 meeting throughout budgeting?
I think 4 would be good.
Do you want them to come to the regular select board meeting or to the budget meeting?
I don't see why we couldn't do both.
Yeah, we could, I think we could do both.
If we do select board meetings, maybe narrow it down to like 3 tops, and then budget days, we could do 4.
But the only difference is that if they're at the regular select board meeting, it's recorded and other people can watch it if they're interested.
No, that's true.
If at the budget meeting, we don't record those.
No, but they're on Zoom, and anybody who would like to watch can already be here, or can show up when they want to. Because we now do Zoom budget meetings.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Let's decide together. What do you think?
How many do we have, more or less?
I think there was 32 last year.
Yeah.
So I guess 4 is really all that my brain can handle in a meeting.
When do we have to have it in there? Because if we just do select board meetings, we're never going to fit 32 in.
You're right, Wendy. Angela, I'm sorry, I agree.
Yeah, I think it would be fine to do it at the budget meeting if we.
Because we have promoted to the public and the townsfolk that We do hybrid meetings. It's always on Zoom. Please come to our meetings, come to our budget meetings, come to everything.
I'm good with that, Angela.
So if we do 4 on select board meeting nights and like 3 on budget nights.
Can we come back to that? Because most budget meetings are
We don't
work nights.
We're work nights, yeah.
I would almost suggest doing no more than 5 on a regular budget night, on a regular select board meeting, and try not to do it on a work night.
When does it have to be done by?
By the end of December.
Okay, here's a thought. If everyone's okay with this, we could start the special appropriations at the first October meeting and do 5 per night at 3 minutes of presentation.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
that
the only
gets
way
30 done by December.
That would be the only way we'd get it done by.
And then they're all publicized and we can do our working budget meetings and people can still attend those too.
I like that.
How do you feel about that, Anne?
Totally fine. Great idea.
Great.
Thank you.
So if you could get that form updated
I'll
and
start
out.
sending it out, yeah.
Wonderful.
They're asking now. So.
Oh, good. Great. All right. And the proposed bylaw floodplain and river corridor on the 18th for our vote. I have not seen any changes from anyone. Have you, Anne?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Any changes on the bylaw floodplain and river corridor
I have
bylaw?
not. No, I think we are moving forward as originally presented.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we're ready for that on the 18th?
Correct.
Excellent. Is there anything further for the administrative assistance report? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the ayes have it. Thank you so much, Juanetta, for your hard work. Moving into committee reports, I see that Jane is here, as always. Good evening. Do you have any reports for us?
Not really any reports, perhaps just a couple of questions.
Okay.
We're not sure where the ARPA money stands. Has it all been allocated at this point, or are we still accepting? I've had a couple of people ask about it and wasn't sure whether I could tell them they can still apply for some of it or not.
You can still apply. All of the information is on the town website detailing how much we've got, how much we've spent, and how much is left.
Yeah, and okay. And the other thing is that the Planning Commission, we have been talking a bit about short-term rentals. And one of the first things that has come up as a feasible thing to do is to implement a 1% local room tax option. Wardsboro, Londonderry, and Jamaica just did it this past Springtown meeting. Strictly the rooms, not the sales, not the meals tax, just the room tax. As a 1% option that would have to be voted at the town meeting in March. So is it something we want to talk about or not?
Can I ask you a question? In order to implement the 1% tax, does the town have to be chartered?
I don't know. I mean,
something came up about this, about some other tax, and the only way that we were allowed to utilize it was if we were chartered, and we are not.
That was the cannabis.
No, it was a different one.
What?
And sure, the cannabis as well, but it was a different tax related to tourism.
I know it used to be restricted. Originally, when it was passed, it was limited to certain towns. And I believe they've opened it up, which is why more towns are implementing them. I can find out whether there's any other restriction.
I think it's a great idea if you could specifically find out if there's a restriction about whether or not the town has to be chartered.
Yeah, I think most of the towns that have implemented it have looked at it as something that brought money into the town and certainly did not restrict short-term rentals in any way, but that the town would get some benefit for all the short-term rentals in town.
It might also help covering additional police if that's what people want.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is money straight to our coffers. So exactly how it all works, I'm not sure at this point. I've tried to talk to someone in the Vermont League of Cities and Towns to see whether we can get a little more information about that. So I'll get in touch with them again.
Why not also check with one of the towns and ask?
Well, yeah, I talked to Wardsboro, the treasurer in Wardsboro, about how they had put it in, and theirs is going into effect as of the 1st of October. Because their town meeting was delayed. So they don't really have any idea how it works yet. It hasn't started working for them, but they have implemented it at least. So I can try and get in touch with Londonderry and Jamaica. I know some people up there. So
I have a feeling that it's paid to the state, then the state sends it back to you.
I think, the basic premise is that Airbnb and VBRO and all these online websites, they automatically add on the 1% for the town to the cost that they get from people who are renting a house or an apartment, whatever, and that they send a check off to the state and then the state divvies it out to the towns, as far as I know.
My understanding, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be great if you could find out all that information and present it, and then we can just go forward.
My concern would be if it was punitive to like the lodge on the West River, who are already struggling to fill their rooms because of the amount of short-term rentals in our town. If we're going to further hit them with another tax, that could be challenging for them. I know they're already paying. All their tax rates are based on the fact that they're a hotel, which is a totally different tax bracket than somebody who just owns a home and rents it out via Airbnb.
Yeah, I think
Jeff, I just wanted to clarify what Jeff was saying. I couldn't hear you completely. Were you saying you want to be sure that it only applies to short-term rentals and not hotels?
Well, I don't know if it could just apply to short-term rentals, but I do think it would be tough on them. I know they're already struggling to fill their rooms, and it would be tough if we added another tax onto them. Mm-hmm. My question is, they're already paying a higher tax rate being a hotel versus people who just have homes on Airbnb, and they're not in a business tax class where the hotel is. So I would want to make sure we're not punishing them even further.
And that will affect our bed and breakfast hotels.
Right, it will affect it.
Yeah, as far as I know, this is not applicable to hotels. It is just rooms, rented rooms, short-term rentals. That's pretty much it.
That would be great.
And that was pretty much the selling point for the people in Wilmington and Dover when they implemented it, was the fact that it wasn't really going to affect anyone who was the homeowner doing a short-term rental. They're not going to see the difference. They're still going to get the same amount of money. It's just that the Airbnb and VBRO tack on whatever fees there are, and that's what the customer's credit card is charged. So
okay, maybe we could make it 10%.
Yeah.
We're only allowed to make, we end up making it a 10% because the state tax is 9%. So
there you go.
If we add the 1%, we make it into a 10% tax.
Got it.
Well, great. So we will look forward to you reporting back.
All right, I'll get some more info.
Do you have anything on DB Fiber?
We are now in the pole owning business. Excuse me. So construction has been going a little bit slow, but it is moving along.
Well, that's
and
good.
we'll be at the Marlboro Fair this weekend advertising. So come on down for more info and come to the fair.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we always love seeing you here.
I almost thought of, I thought of doing doing this. Only people as old as me who remember the Jetsons would understand what that's about.
Yes.
Oh, well. Keep up the good work.
Thank you again, Jane.
Thank you.
And now, do we have any scheduled members of the public? We don't have any. Or unscheduled members? Still none.
Nope.
All right, we'll move right into old business. And Jeff, town beautification suggestions. I have an update for you.
Okay.
I messaged Reed, who is the property maintenance person for the courthouse,
Yes.
and asked him if he spoke with the judge per our conversation, and he did, and the judge seemed it was okay if they were taken care of, but not on the courthouse lawn, as there are already 2 benches there, and if they're not where they can be, where it's not tough to mow around. So one could be under the tree in front of Union Hall.
Okay.
There could be one in the lawn in front of the church, because
Okay.
that's courthouse property as well. And one and maybe a couple along the tree line on the store side, so in front of the old sheriff's department, by that monument,
Oh,
like under
okay.
the trees.
Well,
Because they
it's
use
only
that
for 2,
lawn.
so.
They use that lawn for parking for the Heritage Festival, but he said he'll double check with the judge, but that's what he remembers.
Okay,
and
great.
that's what Reed and I had talked about. So there's several options in Newfane if you need places to put benches.
Great. Awesome.
And will those be removed and stored somewhere for the winter?
We haven't figured that out yet.
Okay, good.
Why would you leave it?
I
What?
just don't know. Depends, I guess, on the structure itself, if it's weather permitting.
Well, talking with Johnny Swing, it sounds like his will not go anywhere.
Yeah. So that's my update for you on who I was contacting.
Great. Well, that's great because that's the last place we needed to hear from, and we can move forward. So
Excellent.
awesome.
Anything further on your updates?
Not
Just what you were waiting for?
Not at the moment, no. But we just need to, reach out to artisans and get some designs, and probably won't be able to move forward till spring at this point. But
Give some winter to
yeah,
Design all
design.
the designs in, or would you rather do it all at once in the spring?
well, I think if we get the designs in over winter, it would get the designs in. It would give them a few months over the winter to build.
Right. So
Give
do you
people.
need any help finalizing any of the documents, or
I probably do. I need to go back over it all.
Jeff, I'm happy to do it with you. I'm just not physically around. So if I could
Okay.
talk on the phone and work via email. So
Yeah, I'm about to disappear for a couple weeks myself. So, but I'll try to read through that when I get home and
okay.
see what we need.
I just want to say I think it's an incredibly great project. So
I think it'll be fun.
it happen.
I'm excited.
Whatever would be helpful.
Well, thank you.
Hey, FEMA buyout for the South Newfane General Store. Any updates?
No,
ARPA fund updates? I don't have any.
all right.
But just to stress to anybody, as Jane was saying, if you would like to make a request, go on the town website. Everything is there on how to submit a request and what's been done and what's left. So,
Correct.
floodplain river corridor bylaw proposed changes. I think we're all good there too.
Yep.
Katie's not here, but you're here. Do you have any updates on the personnel policies? Have you heard anything?
I have not heard anything.
All right, I will send Katie an email asking her to please have, if she could have something ready for our next meeting, which is September 18th. I will send it to the two of you, looking for updates. Any other old business or follow-up items?
Nothing from me.
I'm good.
All right.
Any new business? All right, well then we shall move into correspondence if we have none. Did you have new business?
I have no new business.
Okay. We did receive a letter from Bill Morse, and I received it online from Juanetta. Thank you so much. And after reading it, he raised a number of issues regarding zoning permits, and also to include the DRB. And what we'll do is ask the zoning administrator to give us a report explaining each item, and then do a follow-up and respond to this letter. It's here at the office if anybody would like to see it. But with that, thank you, Bill, and we will let you know what we find out. And that is all we have for correspondence. And if it's okay with everyone, we need to suspend this meeting at 6:36. And I'd like to, we don't need a motion, right? And I would like to open up a Board of Liquor Control meeting. Good evening. Welcome to our Board of Liquor Control meeting. We have one special event permit. It's a special event permit application from the Saxons River Distillery for a tent at the Newfane Heritage Festival on October 7th and 8th, 2023. They have a manufacturing license. And if we approve this application, they will enter the approval into this, all Carol's notes. It seems like all the information is here. Is there a motion to approve for them for the Heritage Festival?
I make such a motion.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Any discussion? Is there a place for me to sign, or do I not need to
No,
sign?
I'll just give her the minutes.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Great. Is there a motion to adjourn the Board of Liquor Control meeting at 6:37?
Make a motion.
Second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 And now resuming our regular select board meeting. If there is nothing else,
You'll want to make a motion that you and Jeff could approve pay orders where it usually takes them.
yes,
quorum.
3. Is there a motion for Jeff and I to approve pay orders together?
I make such a motion.
Second?
I will second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you, Juanetta. I appreciate
You're
you
welcome.
reminding us of that. And if there's nothing else, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Stay safe and have a great week. Thank you, Anne.